Today, we are examining our sixth principle. The goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. And this is the sixth sermon. Isn't that the sixth one landed actually on the sixth part of the series, the sixth sermon in our series on the eight principles. We've already looked at the fourth, fifth, third, second, and first, right? A free and we took them out of order. A free and responsible search for truth and meaning, the use of the democratic process in our congregations and in society at large, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and today, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. This is the one I always call the Superman principle, because it always makes me think of Superman and fighting for truth, justice, and the American way. I always see George Reeves standing on the globe with the American flag planted there right beside him. Is that what world community means, though? Truth, justice, and the American way? I think for a very long time, white Christian Americans have assumed that that's what this meant. Peace, liberty, and justice for all, which is what in my head is what I believe it to be. So it must be right because I think it. After all, I know best. We can get into that headspace sometimes, can we not? I mean, the sun never sets on the British Empire. That's a type of world community. And there's a type of enforced peace, but it's not true peace. And is there liberty and justice for all? Well, that's the question. When you think about peace, liberty, and justice for all, when you think about world community, are you thinking about a world in which everybody thinks and behaves and reacts the way you do? In old science fiction films in particular, there's always a future in which everybody wears uniforms. Even in Star Trek, the original series, which I loved as a child, the Enterprise would visit far off planets and everybody on that planet would be wearing the same clothes. Apparently in the future, silver lame is just the fabric that everybody has everywhere. Does world community mean we all think, dress, and act alike? You know, when my ancestors came here from Eastern Europe, where as Jews they had been forced to live in ghettos, when they came here, they wanted to fit in and be American. And so they gave their children names like Irving, and other Jews gave their children in successive generations names like Scott so that we would seem to fit in. They Americanized their last names. They took off the SKYs and shortened it and wanted to sound more American. Well, you can do what you want with your name. That's okay. But if you're doing it because you want to, that's one thing. If you're doing it because you're afraid that you won't fit in otherwise, what is that saying? Is colonialism, is white privilege and colonialism the only way to world community? I really hope not. So I want to share a video with you. We're going to look at some videos today. And if you feel like dancing along with the videos, you go ahead. You get up and do this dance. This guy, Matt Harding, started traveling in about 2003, and he started putting individual videos up. He started doing these silly dances wherever he was. You know, people take tourist pictures. This is me in front of the Eiffel Tower. This is me in front of the Washington Monument. Well, he was traveling with a friend, and he would do this silly dance, and he'd make a video, and they got posted online, and he started getting lots and lots of followers. And so he ended up getting sponsored by Stride Gum, you know, the chewing gum. And they sent him around the world to go to places and do his silly dance. And so we're going to watch a couple of videos. And the first video, we're going to watch Matt in different places doing his silly dance. People would find out where he was going, and they'd join him and do his silly dance with him. And if you feel like doing the silly dance with Matt, you get up or sit in your chair and do it. Feel free to join in. So can we watch the first video of Matt doing his dance? Now, I love these videos, and we're watching this well into, this was from 2012 or 2008 maybe. And he'd started this the first video was in 2005. So originally it was just Matt dancing, and then eventually people joined him. But you'll notice that in these videos, Matt goes to different places, people join him, and they do Matt's dance. He goes around the world, he meets all these people, but they join in Matt's dance. There was a moment with the Indian dancers where he did join in with what they did at the very end. Now that's the first step, meeting and connecting with people. Meeting and connecting with people. And I want to remind you that our specific mission here in the congregation is to awaken the spirit, connect in kindness, and to help to heal the world. But we don't say to change the world. Our mission is not to change other people. It's to heal. So maybe healing means that we first learn from other people. And what do we get from that? What can the world be like if we don't think we already have all the answers? Even if we're an expert in a field, maybe we're not always asking the right questions. Maybe if we go into a place, we still need to get to know the people there first. What if we truly see each other as equals and then learn from one another? Last week, I talked about the I and thou, seeing each other truly as equal. Now, 4 years after the video we just saw, I think that was the 2008 video. So I think this is the 2012 video. 4 years later, so I think this is the 2012 video, Matt traveled again. Watch what happens now and see if you can spot the difference. Did you notice how in the second video, people didn't just do Matt's dance? Matt joined in the dances with everybody else. He was learning from the world. He learned the dances of the people that he was with. And something completely new emerged from the whole thing. First, he went out alone. First, he traveled. Now, let's remember that Matt is a cis het white man. He had a lot of privilege to be able to do this in the first place, because when he went out in 2003, when he traveled on his own in the first time, he had the means to do that. Not all of us have the ability to travel the world. He had a job that was flexible enough for him to do that for a few months, and he could do it. But there are many ways for us to meet new people and engage in other cultures without traveling around the world. So first he went out on his own and he did his dance. Then others joined him. Then he got sponsorship. Many more people joined him. They did his dance. But then he joined them. He joined them. And then something new and wonderful came out of all of that. Now that was 9 years ago. That the second video was 9 years ago, 2012. And there's a 2016 video, and there are other videos. There are things that have happened since, and I think he's gone on to live his life since then. But that's just one example of things that have that go on in the world all the time. An example of how we can engage with the world. How wonderful to make beautiful music together. And if we want to follow Matt's example, we must first see each other fully. We must listen to and learn from each other. There are times when I might know better, but there are times when the person I am teaching will be able to teach me something as well. We cannot enforce peace upon people. There is no peace without justice. You'll notice that Matt in the 2008 video was dancing in the DMZ. That's one of my favorite places, sequences in this. He's dancing alone in the DMZ with the one guard standing there. In the 2012 video, he's gone to Pyongyang in North Korea. How interesting. Now, Matt dancing in North Korea will not create alone peace and justice in North Korea, but how interesting. There is no peace without justice. We must work for justice in our own backyard and throughout the world. Which means supporting the UN. Which means voting with our values. The big blue marble has no borderlines from space. We can achieve world community. And we can dance. Now I've lost my chair. We can dance together. Namaste.